Land cybersecurity jobs with no experience required. That's what IBM and Coursera promise with their cybersecurity certificate. 150,000 students enrolled, $49 per month, and 8 courses promising cybersecurity readiness. But when you look beyond the marketing, the student reviews reveal some important gaps that you probably need to know about. Now, IBM Security Certificate isn't necessarily bad, but at the same time, it's not the complete career solution that some people make it out to be. And understanding the limitations up front could save you months of frustration. So today, I'm gonna be rating every aspect based on curriculum analysis and graduate feedback, from content quality to job market relevance. And I'll also show you what additional skills and certifications industry professionals actually recommend. Now, this is the reality check that IBM's marketing won't give you. And I'll drop all the links in the description for your convenience so you can check them out down there. But first, let me break this down for you. Right after you gently tap the like button to defeat the evil YouTube algorithm and to show me appreciation for doing all the research for this video. And I truly do appreciate it. All right, so first, let's start off with what this cybersecurity certificate actually is. This is the IBM Cybersecurity Analyst Professional Certificate. It's hosted on Coursera. It's 14 courses, and that does sound intimidating, right? Wrong. Here's the thing, and this blew my mind when I first looked at it. Over 250,000 people have already enrolled in this program. And you know what that tells me? People are desperate to get into cybersecurity. And they're not just throwing darts at a board. They're choosing IBM. Think about that for a second. IBM, one of the biggest names in tech. They are not going to put their reputation behind garbage. So the certificate covers everything from basic cybersecurity fundamentals to advanced stuff like penetration testing and incident response, and also database vulnerabilities and compliance frameworks. But here's what got my attention. They're teaching generative AI in cybersecurity. Now, most programs are still stuck in 2010, teaching you about firewalls like it's rocket science. IBM, on the other hand, is looking forward to 2030, preparing you for a world where AI is everywhere. Now, additionally, it also has a 4.7 out of 5-star rating from over 13,000 reviews. That is excellent, and it's far above the average rating of courses on Coursera. And then eStudent.org, an independent review site, gave it a 4.4 out of 5 in their comprehensive analysis, also above their average rating. And they specifically praised it as beginner-friendly and practical. So when independent reviewers who have no skin in the game are saying good things, that's not an accident. And the curriculum is structured logically. Course 1 starts with career basics. By course 11, you're doing real cybersecurity case studies and capstone projects. And course 14 is job search and interview prep. They're not just teaching you cybersecurity, they're teaching you how to get a cybersecurity job, which is what's missing from 99% of the educational platforms out there. Now we're going to talk about some of the most important factors to consider. We're going to give them all a rating from 1 to 10 and then a final score at the end. So factor number 1 is time to completion. And here's where it gets interesting. IBM says 4 months, 10 hours a week. But you know what? That's if you're average. And I'm betting you're not here to be average. But if you're consistent and passionate about learning cybersecurity, you can do this in 1 to 2 months. And generally speaking, a lot of Coursera's courses say that it takes a bit longer than it actually takes. And that just makes the certificates look better, let's be honest. But there's many self-reports online of people finishing them much faster than that. Now, the beauty is it's self-paced. Your boss is giving you grief, study at lunch. Kids keeping you up, study at 5 a.m. before the house wakes up. Commuting 2 hours a day, audio lessons on the train. So the 14 courses range from 6 to 17 hours each. And that's actually genius because you get quick wins early. For instance, course 1, you might be able to get done in a weekend. Then you can deep dive later when you're committed. Now, here's what I love about this structure. The longest courses, operating systems at 17 hours, cybersecurity case studies at 16 hours, and penetration testing at 16 hours, those come after you've already built momentum. So you're not staring down a 17-hour mountain on day 1. You're climbing hills first. And you can literally start this tonight and have your first course, Introduction to Cybersecurity Careers, 7 hours, done by the weekend. And that's immediate progress, right? Immediate momentum. So when it comes to time to completion, I'm giving this one a 9 out of 10. I think you can realistically complete this in 1 to 2 months, which is much faster than a boot camp, which can be up to 12 months, or a college degree, which is usually 4 to 5 years for just a bachelor's.
Hey guys, in the editing process right now, but quick pause to give you a special deal from Coursera. So Coursera is launching its promo offer, and this is where learners will get access to thousands and thousands of courses, and all of this for 40% off for 3 months. Details are on the screen and you can check it out. So it's going to be down in the description as well as the pinned comment below. So go down there to check it out. But anyways, back to the video.
All right, section 3 is going to be cost, because I know there's a lot of college students out there, and I was there myself, that are probably eating ramen and they probably can't afford a $1,000 course or a $10,000 boot camp. And I know some of you are probably working 2 jobs just to keep the lights on. And you know, the economy's rough out there, and Coursera actually understands that. And they understand that these certificates are designed to get people entry-level jobs So it's people either trying to get their first job or it's career switchers that are switching from a different industry. But here's the deal. To take the course is $49 a month. If you want to get Coursera Plus, it's usually $59 a month, although sometimes they have promos. Check the link in the description in the pinned comment below to see if they do. And with Coursera Plus, you get access to thousands of courses. But the $49 a month option is great if you just want to dip your toe in, learn a skill, maybe sharpen your resume a bit. And the $59 a month plan is where you get into the career ready stuff, because you have access to so many different courses and you can basically dip your toe in and try out a bunch of different ones. And they teach you stuff that you're actually going to be doing in the job. So when you take those courses, when you learn those skills, that would be the stuff that you'd actually be doing on a day-to-day basis. And you'll be able to build real portfolio projects. And you can even apply for financial aid, meaning you could get either part or all of the certificate paid for. And additionally, many of these certificates you can actually audit for free and only have to pay for it if you're going to get the certificate. And with the link in the description in the pinned comment below, you can try it out for 7 days before you even pay. Now, just a quick disclaimer here for the financial aid, results will vary. I'm not saying you're guaranteed to get it if you apply, but what I'm saying is Coursera understands that the economy is tough right now, and they are willing to work with people, right? If you think about it from their perspective, if they get you in and they give you, a free course, they pay for your certificate, then later on you get a good job and you're making good money, you're probably going to go back to Coursera and then upskill even more in the future and get more certificates and certifications. So it makes a lot of sense from their perspective. It's kind of like when Apple donated a bunch of free Apple computers to schools all across the United States. But realistically speaking, this is about as affordable as any online learning option that's actually designed to get you a job is going to be, right? Any other option is going to be significantly more expensive. Online courses are usually at least $1,000. Even college courses, like a single college course for one semester, is usually $3,000. Boot camps can last up to 12 months and they're $10,000 to $30,000. And college degrees, of course, usually cost $50,000 to $100,000 plus dollars. And they take 4 to 5 years of your time. And when it comes to the cost, it's not just the money, it's your time, right? When you think of cost, when you think of what you're risking, you really need to think beyond just money. You need to think of your own time, because if you go the college degree route when you actually could have just landed a job with alternative education, that's 4 to 5 years of your time where you're actually spending money to learn valuable skills when you could have been spending 4 to 5 years of your time getting paid to learn valuable skills. And by the end of the 4 to 5 years, you're probably well into the 6 figures. So this is an investment in your future and your family's future. So yeah, at a cost of $49 or $59 a month if you do Coursera Plus, this is a clear 10 out of 10. The certificate delivers exceptional value, it includes financial aid options, and it provides massive savings compared to $15,000 boot camps or $3,000 college courses. So the ROI is practically unbeatable. Next, let's talk about job market demand. And this is where it gets wild. 6 million. That's how many cybersecurity professionals the world needs right now, according to Cybercrime Magazine. Not next year, not in 5 years, right now. Every company is getting hacked. Every company needs protection. Every company is hiring. Target got hacked. You know what that means? If you can't find a cybersecurity job in 2025, you're not trying hard enough. The demand is insane, and the opportunities are everywhere. Government agencies need cybersecurity professionals. Banks need them. Hospitals need them. Your local pizza shop pretty soon probably needs them. And this certificate is designed specifically for entry-level positions. So that is your foot in the door. And I found this LinkedIn article where Vijay talked about the industry impact of cybersecurity and how companies are desperately seeking qualified professionals. And the United States market alone, which IBM highlighted on Coursera, shows 14,000 job openings just for cybersecurity analysts right now. Now, another kind of a little bit less known thing about cybersecurity is many of the higher paying jobs do require clearances, and they'll only hire Americans for American jobs, which means it's going to be safe when it comes to outsourcing AI, etc., all those other forces that are replacing jobs. Cybersecurity is going to be relatively safe. So yeah, overall, when it comes to the demand, this is one of the best. I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. There's a real market need with 6 million cybersecurity professionals needed globally and tens of thousands of openings for a bunch of different positions right here in the US. Next, let's talk about salary expectations. Yes, it's money time. Now, the original data on Coursera shows $112,000 for median entry-level cybersecurity analyst positions. Now, here's what matters. This is your starting point. The entry-level positions lead to serious money. We're talking career-changing money. And that guy from the Reddit success story, the guy who started with this certificate, he went from basic monitoring role to lead DevOps, making 4 times his original salary. 4 times in 4 years. So that's not luck. That's leverage. That's what happens when you have in-demand skills. And that's using the certificate as a foundation to build something bigger. So when it comes to the money, I'm gonna give this one a 9 out of 10, right? You're probably not gonna make 6 figures right away. You'll likely start off making, $50,000, $60,000 a year in an entry-level position, but you can very quickly get to the 6-figure level. All right, next section is production value. So let's talk about what you actually get when you hand over your money. First of all, the IBM Skills Network team. These aren't random instructors pulled from a community college. These are people who have been in the trenches, right? They've been working in cybersecurity. And the team includes professionals like D.D. Collett and Jeff Kroom, people with respected names in the cybersecurity industry. And the structure is clean. 14 courses that build on each other logically. No random jumping around. And actual labs, real projects that you can put on your real portfolio that they'll help you build, and case studies that you can talk about in interviews. And estudent.org specifically highlighted the practical nature of the program in their review. Course 10, for instance, is literally called Incident Response and Digital Forensics. Course 11 is Cybersecurity Case Studies and Capstone Project. So you're not just learning about cybersecurity, you're doing cybersecurity. And it's ACE approved. That means real college credit, up to 10 credits according to Coursera. So that's worth thousands in college tuition alone. And if you ever decide to go back to school, those credits can transfer. Plus FIBA, not that FIBA, the other FIBA, recommended for up to 4 ECTs credit internationally. So you may even get credit internationally as well. And the production value is professional. The content is current and the delivery is polished without being sterile. Now, realistically speaking, I think the best production value is when you're just working one-on-one with a career coach. But this is an automated course. Yes, there is a community, there are professors that you can interact with a little bit, but realistically, you're not gonna be working one-on-one with someone because a good career coach is gonna charge at least $100 an hour. And that's just not scalable with a $49 a month program. So I'm gonna give this one a 7 out of 10 when it comes to production value. It's great for a course, but it can't really compare to one-on-one coaching. All right, next section is your chances of getting hired. So this is where I'm gonna be brutally honest with you. The certificate alone is not enough for 99% of people. Let me say that again. The certificate alone is not going to be enough. But here's what the success stories show us. For instance, IT Career Finder reports people successfully transitioning from junior cybersecurity analyst roles after completing this program. Security Operations Center roles. That's where a lot of cybersecurity careers start. And there's this incredible Reddit story that I can't stop thinking about. This guy started with this certificate, 0 experience, 0 connections, just pure hunger. And he gets a monitoring role at a startup. Not glamorous, probably didn't pay much, but here's where it gets interesting. He started getting R&D side tasks. And instead of saying, that's not my job, he said, I could do that. Plot twist, he couldn't actually do them yet, but he worked 24/7 to figure it out. And he made himself indispensable. 4 years later, he's a lead DevOps person making 4 times his original salary. And in his words, he said, I faked it till I made it. And honestly, that's pretty good advice. If you think you can learn the job, even if it's entry level and it says it needs 2 to 3 years of experience, apply anyways. That's what I always tell my students. So overall, I'm gonna give this one a rating of 7 out of 10. I think it can absolutely help you get an entry level job. If you're already an entry level job, it can even help you get a raise or a promotion. But on its own, it's very likely not going to get you a job. However, it provides an incredible foundation. And in addition to building a great portfolio, networking, and other certifications, it can absolutely help you to land a job. And I think one of the biggest reasons for this is there's a little bit of a liability factor in cybersecurity. Think about it like this. Let's just say, hypothetically, a company has a major data breach. And then when they're investigated, it's found out that they hired a bunch of people who didn't have degrees and weren't really qualified. Well, that's probably going to look pretty bad in a court of law. So although in some careers, the barrier to entry is honestly really low, and it's incredibly easy to get an entry-level job, for instance, sales careers or digital marketing. In cybersecurity, the barrier to entry is kind of artificially a bit higher because of the fact that they're dealing with so much liability. So you're very likely going to have to supplement this with certifications from, for instance, CompTIA. Next, let's talk about the overall value. So the strengths here are obvious, and it's backed by multiple independent sources. Comprehensive curriculum from IBM, a company that knows cybersecurity like the back of their hand, forward-thinking content, including AI applications in cybersecurity. And while other programs are still teaching decades-old concepts, IBM is preparing you for the future. And estudent.org praised it as beginner-friendly and practical in their independent review. Now, additionally, academic credit recognition adds long-term value. So if you're going to college and you're getting a cybersecurity degree anyways, you can take this and you can get credit for it. Now, one of the downsides is eStudent noted that it's somewhat IBM tool focused. But honestly, if IBM tools are what companies use, then IBM IBM tools are what you should learn, because a lot of companies just copy what the biggest companies are doing. So overall, when it comes to value, this one is a clear 10 out of 10. For $49 a month, you're not gonna find much out there that's a better value, especially when you consider the money and also your time. And one of the things I love about Coursera, this is the reason why I recommend it to so many of my students, right? At this point, I'm basically the internet's career counselor, is the fact that you can dip your toe in a bunch of different things, especially if you have Coursera Plus. So you can try out a bunch of different careers without actually having to invest the time, effort, and money in getting into that career, because the Coursera Professional Certificate Program teaches you stuff that businesses actually do on a day-to-day basis. Not the theory and the fluff and all that kind of stuff that college degrees teach you, but actual practical skills and things that you would be doing on a day-to-day basis. So yeah, this one gets a clear 10 out of 10 when it comes to value. All right, with all those factors added up and weighted appropriately, the final rating is 8.6 out of 10. I think this is a great certificate. I think it's worth it for the right person. But I do have a bit of a disclaimer here. This certificate is a tool. And just like any tool out there, if it's used for the right job, it's incredibly valuable. But if you use it for the wrong job, it's gonna be useless. For instance, if you have a screw and you try to use a hammer to nail in the screw, you're gonna have a bad time. It's not gonna work out very well for you. But if you have a screw and you use a screwdriver, for instance, it's gonna be the perfect tool for the perfect situation. So for the right type of person out there, I think this certificate is great, right? It's legit. The content's solid, the opportunities are real, but it's not a magical bullet, right? It's not an easy button that you can just push and get a job. It won't hand you a six-figure job just for showing up. What it will do is give you a fighting chance in one of the hottest job markets on the planet. And it will give you the foundation to build something bigger. And it will give you the credibility to help you to get your foot in the door. But the rest, that's on you. 250,000 people have already started this journey, and the question is, are you gonna join them? If you are, click the link in the description, the pinned comment below. And full disclosure, if you do end up purchasing something from Coursera after clicking that link, I will get a small amount of affiliate commission. But if you don't want me to get any affiliate commission, that's totally fine. Just type in the name on Google and you can find it yourself. No problem. But if you appreciate me doing all this hard work and making this review, then clicking the link is much appreciated. Now, additionally, I made a video talking about some of my favorite Coursera courses, and you can check that out by clicking right here.